Now
on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
7:36 here, very busy Monday morning. There's so much to catch up on. And coming up, it's going to get busier at 8:05 with Hung Cao running for Senate in Virginia. 8:35, Laura Trump, co-chair of the Republican National Committee, this 8-day mark before Election Day. It's Larry O'Connor with Julie Gunlock on O'Connor and Company. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
Did you hear this?
Comes down to one last play, and it's going to be getting longer by the second. You're all the way back at the 30-yard line. Now you can step into it. Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line, and the ball is caught! Caught! It's a miracle! It's Noah Brown! Oh my goodness! This town is going crazy!
As well they should go crazy. That's right. A Hail Mary finally goes our way here as your Washington Commandskins steal one from the Bears in Landover, and the town was going crazy. It was a miracle. And Trevor Matich, I mean, what's left to say, not just about this team, but about this quarterback who was, by the way, playing injured. How does he even throw the ball 70 yards with broken ribs or whatever the hell was going on, Trevor?
I don't know. The adrenaline must have carried him through. I'm just so glad it did. I couldn't believe the ending. That ending was incredible. The Bears had almost finished breaking the Commanders' hearts. In the fourth quarter, Bears trailing, drove down, scored what looked like the game-winning touchdown with 25 seconds to go, right? The Commanders get the ball after the kickoff with 19 seconds to go. And then with 2 seconds to go, they throw that Hail Mary. And the thing is, this team, this franchise, for decades, those always went against them. That last Bears touchdown in the final minute was always the dagger in another disappointing loss. But with this quarterback and this coach and this team, the expectation is not just that they will win. Now, the expectation is that they will win in spectacular fashion in a way that takes a fire hose to decades of caked mud on the souls of the fans of this franchise.
Trevor Matich, the defense really kept the offense in this game, shutting out the Bears in the first half. But are there concerns here? The first half looked a lot like the Commanders in Game 2 against the Giants, where they were moving the ball, but they just couldn't get that touchdown in the red zone. They had 3 field goals. The score was 9-0 at halftime.
Yeah, that was a problem. As the Bears were driving down for the go-ahead touchdown in the final minute, that was the thing I was thinking, was that you've got to be able to finish. You've got to be able to score touchdowns. And so the game was not flawless, certainly, by this offense, because they left themselves exposed. I mean, I don't blame the defense necessarily for, giving up a couple of touchdown drives late, just because they had by and large shut down the Bears. They had by and large shut down the first pick in the draft, Caleb Williams, the Bears quarterback. And of course, Jaden Daniels was the second pick in the draft, so that was quite a matchup. But this is not a flawless team by any stretch. But they are 6-2. They are finding ways to win, and they're not beating themselves. I mean, if you get down to just brass tacks and the fundamentals of it, this is a team that usually gets beat twice every week. The other team beats them, and then they make mistakes that beat themselves too, just to make sure there's a nail in the coffin. And, they're not doing that now to that degree. And so, but there are things that they can get better at, because look where the expectations are. What are the expectations, guys? The expectations are make a deep run into the playoffs, maybe even get to the Super Bowl, and fingers crossed, I won't even dare say it, I'm knocking on wood as I even suggest it. And those are the expectations.
Wow.
Trevor, I just want to...
Why not?
Why not? Because they only won 3 games last year. That's why not. But I hear you. I know. That's where we're starting to go. Go ahead, Julie.
Trevor, there was this funny moment. The Bears, Tariq Stevenson, he seemed to mock the Commanders fans during this final moment, and yet he was the one that tipped the ball into the air that allowed Noah Brown to make the catch. What are your thoughts on that? That was that kind of made it even better, frankly, to see him be the one that actually tipped the ball.
Oh, that's really harsh, Julie. It's really fair, and it's exceptionally fun. You know, they say karma's fill in the blank, but in this case, I would just say, since we're on the radio, karma is delicious.
There you go.
Particular case. Yeah,
it sort of
yeah.
rhymes.
And again, to break it down, there was a big scrum of players at the 1 yard line. That ball went 65 yards in the air, dropped down into that scrum of players. But one of them was Commanders tight end Zach Ertz, big tight end, one of the best ever to play the game. And so that bear that you're talking about had to jump up. And normally you're told as a defender, knock it down. Down. But because Ertz was one of the Commanders in there was another one too, he had to get up as high as he could to try to keep it away from Ertz. And that's why the ball was tipped up instead of him waiting just to beat and tip it down. And then it tumbled in the air on that tip into the end zone, into the hands of Commanders receiver Noah Brown. So, yeah, that guy being the bear, and for it to have happened right then, it's like karma was just circling around him like a buzzard, just saying, okay, buddy, but you don't know what I do.
Yeah. Trevor Matich, great talking with you. It's always fun to have a conversation, especially after a victory like that. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, enjoy it. Savor it. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely savor it. Absolutely. Listen, this is the Redskins franchise, and now the Commanders franchise has been around for, how many decades, and like 80 years now, with incredible memories. But yesterday's game, finish is one of the top five finishes of a football game now. In a season that is looking more and more hopeful. By the way, we just heard the Jim Nantz call. It was the nationally televised game, by the way, for most of the country. They saw this. That was Jim Nantz with Tony Romo. Can I just quickly, you got to hear our guy. You got to hear Bram Weinstein, our local, voice of the Redskins. You hear him every Friday here on our program. Listen to his call.
4 of them at the goal line. They bring 3. Daniel's backing up. He's just going to have to let one fly. Goes to the right side. Steps away from the defenders. Gives himself some time. Now steps up, fires. Heads towards the end zone. It is...
Is this going to be us on election night? Let me just say, we get chastised if you and I talk over each other now and again, one phrase or a sentence. Let me just tell you, that is an amazing moment. That's terrible radio, by the way, when everyone's screaming over each other.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty great.
Terrible radio, but absolutely priceless moment. Well done, Bram. 744.